The people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact.
She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well.
It is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself.
Don't, and I don't care. I don't care what she is. I don't care. You make a big deal out of something, I couldn't care less. Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
Kamala Harris, let's have a good debate.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump faced off in their first presidential debate on Tuesday in Philadelphia, just under 2 months before Election Day. Harris entered the debate with both opportunities and risks, as a CBS News poll highlighted key battleground states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, where she held an edge over Trump in voter preferences. However, Trump maintained strong support among voters dissatisfied with their financial situation since the pandemic, especially those whose incomes have lagged behind inflation, as well as non-college educated and white voters who echoed these concerns. A New York Times Siena College poll found that despite a surge of enthusiasm for Democrats following Harris's entry into the race, Trump continued to hold a slight national lead. He garnered the support of 48% of likely voters, compared to 47% for Harris. The debate touched on a broad array of topics and was marked by heated exchanges between the two fierce opponents. Harris positioned herself as a practical problem solver, portraying Trump as an aspiring dictator who struggles to even hold the attention of his rally crowds. Trump, in turn, labeled Harris as a radical and repeatedly focused on his criticisms of immigration, at times delving into conspiracy theories. Here are 5 key takeaways from the debate. Harris used the first question to emphasize her vision for an opportunity economy, aiming to challenge Trump's edge with swing voters by positioning herself as the champion of the middle class. She criticized Trump as a corporate tax cutter, contrasting her approach with his.
So I was raised as a middle-class kid, and I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children.
They had the highest inflation perhaps in the history of our country, because I've never seen a worse period of time. People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or anything else.
Trump criticized the Biden-Harris economy, stating, "I've never seen a worse period of time." He also defended his tariff plans and labeled Harris a Marxist, while simultaneously accusing her of copying his policies, remarking, "I was going to send her a MAGA hat."
She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. She's gone to my philosophy. But if she ever got elected, she'd change it. And it will be the end of our country. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well.
In the opening moments, both candidates aimed to present themselves as the agents of change in a nation filled with voters eager for transformation.
But I'm going to tell you all in this debate tonight, you're going to hear from the same old tired playbook, a bunch of lies, grievances, and name-calling. What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected.
Harris reiterated that message later in the debate, stating, "The American people are exhausted with the same old, tired playbook." She referenced it again when criticizing Trump for his role in inciting the January 6th riot.
Let's turn the page on this. Let's not go back. Let's chart a course for the future and not go backwards to the past.
Trump attempted to depict Harris as an extension of President Joe Biden's policies on immigration and the economy. On the issue of illegal immigration, Trump stated,
"These are the people that she and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast."
Regarding the economy, he claimed,
And it's a plan that's going to bring up our worth, our value as a country. It's going to make people want to be able to go and work and create jobs and create a lot of good, solid money for our country. And just to finish off, she doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that are just, oh, we'll try and lower taxes. She doesn't have a plan. Take a look at her plan. She doesn't have a plan.
Despite indications from even his running mate, Trump continued to repeat the latest conspiracy theory during the debate. The former president introduced the baseless claim that migrants from Haiti in Springfield, Ohio, were eating people's cats and dogs.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
When ABC moderator David Muir highlighted that city officials had denied any evidence of such incidents, Trump persisted, citing the people on television as his source. When pressed further, Trump simply responded, "We'll find out."
You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
television. But the people are on television saying their dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme.
As the debate shifted to the topic of crime, Trump asserted that crime was rising in the United States, unlike in other parts of the world. Muir countered this claim with FBI data showing that crime had actually declined in recent years.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But Vice
Excuse me,
President
the FBI they were defrauding statements. They didn't include the worst cities. They didn't include the cities with the worst crime. It was a fraud, just like their number of 818,000 jobs that they said they created turned out to be a fraud.
President Trump, thank you. I'll let you respond, Vice President Harris.
Well, I think this is so rich, coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault, and his next big court appearance is in November at his own criminal sentencing.
Later in the debate, Trump described U.S. elections as a mess and alleged that Democrats are attempting to allow undocumented immigrants to vote. "We have a nation that is dying," he said.
Our elections are bad. And a lot of these illegal immigrants coming in, they're trying to get them to vote. They can't even speak English. They don't even know what country they're in practically. And these people are trying to get them to vote. And that's why they're allowing them to come into our country.
Trump and Harris had an extended confrontation over abortion, during which Trump twice refused to state whether he would veto a federal abortion ban if Congress passed one.
Would you veto a national abortion ban if it came to your
Well, I won't
desk?
have to, because again, 2 things. Number one, she said she'll go back to Congress. She'll never get the vote. It's impossible for her to get the vote, especially now with the 50-50, essentially 50-50 in both Senate and the House. I'm not signing a ban, and there's no reason to sign a ban, because we've gotten what everybody wanted.
When informed that his vice presidential nominee, Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, had stated he would veto such a ban, Trump contradicted Vance, who had made those comments recently on NBC News' Meet the Press.
J.D. Vance has said that you would veto it if it did come to your desk.
Well, I didn't discuss it with J.D. In all fairness, J.D., and I don't mind if he has a certain view, but I think he was speaking for me, but I really didn't. Look,
The vice president, a long-standing advocate for reproductive rights within the administration, was able to address the former president's defense of his abortion policy in a way that President Biden did not.
And I pledge to you, when Congress passes a bill to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. But understand, if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban.
The former president, who appointed 3 of the Supreme Court justices responsible for overturning federal abortion protections, has attempted to soften his position by criticizing 6-week abortion bans and reaffirming his support for exceptions in cases of rape, incest, and to protect the life of the mother. However, he has also defended the reversal of Roe v. Wade.
Now, it's not tied up in the federal government. I did a great service in doing it. It took courage to do it. And the Supreme Court had great courage in doing it. And I give tremendous credit to those 6 justices.
Trump reiterated several points about abortion from his June debate with Biden. He claimed that everyone wanted the issue returned to the states, despite significant opposition from Democrats and some independents. He also inaccurately stated that a former governor of Virginia advocated for executing babies, referring to comments made by former Democratic Governor Ralph Northam, a doctor, regarding care for infants born after non-viable pregnancies.
And you can look at the governor of West Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, who's doing an excellent job, but the governor before. He said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby. And that's why I did that, because that predominates, because they're radical. The Democrats are radical in that.
And Trump repeated the false claim that some states allow abortions to be performed after a baby has been born, which drew a fact check from ABC News' Lindsay Davis.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact.
Harris responded by emphasizing cases where women have faced difficulties obtaining abortions after being victims of rape or struggled to receive care for miscarriages.
You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot? She didn't want that?
Harris took the stage with a clear strategy to unsettle Trump. By any measure, her approach was a dramatic success. When the vice president brought up Trump's criminal conviction and ongoing legal troubles, he reacted strongly. Her criticism of him derailing a bipartisan immigration bill prompted an even sharper response. And when Harris suggested that Trump's rallies were dull, he almost took the bait.
And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
First, let me respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. I don't, and I don't care. I don't care what she is. I don't care. You make a big deal out of something, I couldn't care less. Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
I'm taking this from
But
television.
the people
I'm
on
taking it from
television
the city
saying their
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there. It would have never happened if Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington did their jobs. I wasn't responsible for security. Nancy Pelosi was responsible. She didn't do her job. You know what it reminds me of? When they said they're going to get student loans terminated, and it ended up being a total catastrophe. People that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.